Hey, so this video I'm going to show you how to remove the front wheel of your Honda VFR800F. This model is a deluxe with ABS, so there's a little bit of difference in the front wheel. So once you have your rear wheel removed and the bike on the center stand, a pit bull stand makes getting the front wheel off the ground very easy. Remember, you have to have the rear wheel off of the bike for this to work for you. There's other ways to do it. You can put a jack underneath the engine. This is the safest way and the best way not to hurt anything. So first thing we're going to do is remove the 14mm bolts which hold our caliper on. We get these calipers off and then we're ready to rock and roll. So we're just going to take these 14mm bolts out and set them down on the ground underneath the bike. Whenever I take a bike apart, all the parts that I pull off of the left side go on the left side of the bike. Everything I pull off the right side of the bike stays on the right side of the bike. It makes it a lot easier when you're putting the bike back together if you have your parts organized. So now that I've got both bolts out of the caliper, I pull the caliper back and I just give it a little kind of a twist on the rotor, and it separates out the pads. When you remove your caliper, go ahead and look at the pads and make sure there's plenty of brake pad available. Next, we take a 22mm socket and we break loose the axle bolt, and then we jump back over to the right side caliper and remove the 14mm bolts from the right side. I have air tools and someday I may use them. Someday. I'm old now. Maybe when I get much older I'll start using the air tools when I pull these off. But it's easy enough with the 3/8" drive ratchet just to pull these bolts out. They're not torqued down that tight, so you shouldn't have to kill yourself using a breaker bar or anything like that. Again, I get the last bolt out, and then I'm going to grab that caliper and I just give it a little bit of a twist on the rotor, and then the caliper will slide right off. It spreads apart the pads and gives it a little bit more play. This bike only has 3,900 miles on it, so I expect those pads to be pretty good. So these are the pinch bolts. It's a 12mm socket, and you're just gonna break those pinch bolts free so you can slide your axle out of the fork. And that is a 14mm socket. You also see that hole in the axle as the axle spins. You can stick a number 2 Phillips screwdriver in that hole and pull your axle out doing it that way. But if you put a light coat of grease on your axle should slide right out. So there's my left side spacer on the ground, here's my right side spacer on the ground, and that's all there is to it, to removing your front wheel. Thanks for watching my video. Come back and watch a few more.